All right, welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on something that's kind of like magic in great software. We're going to look at how really elegant behind-the-scenes engineering can take a moment of total frustration and turn it into something seamless and actually helpful. So yeah, let's just dive right in.
You ever wonder that? You're using an app and everything just works. It feels completely natural, totally intuitive. Well, I can tell you that effortless feeling is no accident. It's the result of some incredibly thoughtful and, often totally invisible design and engineering.
So let's try to put ourselves in the user's shoes for a second. Picture this. You've spent weeks, maybe months, planning. You've got your speakers lined up, the venue is booked, the schedule is perfect, everything is ready to go. You log into your event software, all set for that final, satisfying click.
And you click it. But nothing. The page doesn't change. There's no confirmation pop-up, no error message, not a single clue what just happened. You've just run headfirst into an invisible wall. What you don't know is you've reached your event creation limit, but the software decided not to tell you. And that is the exact kind of friction that makes people want to just give up on a product.
But what if we could just tear that wall down? The solution, as we're about to see, isn't some huge, complicated system overhaul. Nope. It's actually a simple, smart notification that turns that moment of frustration into one of complete clarity.
And here it is. This is the hero of our story today. This feature, which is technically optional, not even a core part of the system, provides this absolutely crucial piece of communication. It's just an automated function that tells the organizer what's going on. Simple as that.
So, instead of just staring at a screen, totally confused, the organizer gets an email. It clearly explains, hey, you've reached your event limit, and it probably tells them what to do next. Just like that, the confusion is gone, the problem is identified, and the user feels supported, not ignored.
And that's the real magic, isn't it? I mean, this isn't just about blasting out an email. It's about a system that's smart enough to see a very specific situation happening and then react to it, instantly and reliably. So, how does it actually work under the hood? Well, the best way to think about it is like a super efficient, completely automated assembly line that's running in the cloud. Every single step is perfectly coordinated to build and send that notification without any humans needing to get involved.
This whole process really just breaks down into 4 basic steps. First, there's a trigger. That's the user hitting their limit. Then, the system extracts all the details it needs. After that, it sends the notification. And finally, it cleans up after itself so it doesn't accidentally send the same message twice. It's a really simple, logical, and super effective flow.
Now, to run this assembly line, we don't have people in hard hats. We have these specialized cloud services, our digital workers. Each one has a very specific job to do, and they all work together perfectly. So, let's meet the team.
Our assembly line kicks off with Amazon SQS. You can basically think of this as the digital inbox, or the start of the conveyor belt. When the user hits their event limit, a new task gets dropped right into this queue. SQS just holds onto it safely, kind of like a package on that conveyor belt, just waiting for the next worker to grab it. Next up is AWS Lambda, which is our on-demand robot. Now, this thing doesn't just sit around waiting. It literally springs into action the instant a task shows up in that SQS queue. Its one and only job is to process that notification request. And believe me, it does it incredibly fast.
But wait, what should the email actually say? Well, that's where AWS Code Commit comes in. Think of it as the blueprint library. It securely stores the master copy of the email template, making sure that every single notification is perfectly worded and formatted, every single time.
And the final handoff goes to Amazon SES, our automated mailroom. Once our Lambda robot builds the email using the blueprint, SES takes over. It specializes in just one thing: sending emails reliably and at a huge scale, making sure that message actually gets delivered. Okay, this might look a little technical, but it's actually just the instruction manual for our digital workers. We're just telling them, hey, watch this SQS inbox, send the email from this address, use this subject line, and here's exactly where to find the blueprint in the code commit library. This is what makes the whole system so flexible and honestly, pretty easy to manage. You know, a great system isn't just about what it does when everything's going right, it's about how it acts when things go wrong. So what happens if our little assembly line hits a snag?
Right? This is a classic problem. Let's say a developer, by accident, deleted the email template. Does the whole system just crash and burn? Does that notification task just, poof, disappear forever?
No, and this is the really beautiful part of this design.
Our Lambda robot tries to grab the template, sees it's not there, and then it just leaves the task right in the SQS inbox. The system will then automatically try again later. This is huge because it means no data is lost. And as soon as someone restores that template, the notification will go out just like it was supposed to.
Okay. Another scenario. What if there's a problem with the mailroom itself? Maybe the organizer's email address is bad, or their server's down. Does this break anything else in the main application?
And again, the answer is a big nope. Because this whole thing is an optional, non-core feature, it's designed to be completely isolated. The failure gets logged so an engineer can check it out later, but it has zero impact on the core product. The main application just keeps on chugging along smoothly.
So when you bring all these pieces together, the simple solution the user sees and the super resilient automated system on the back end, you really start to see the beauty of this kind of invisible design. So what are the big takeaways here? Well, first, this simple email turns that moment of user frustration, smacking into that invisible wall, into a clear, helpful interaction. Second, this whole thing is automated with simple serverless tools, which is just crazy efficient. Third, it's a great example of how resilient design handles errors gracefully. A missing file doesn't break things, it just waits. And finally, it proves you can make the user experience way better with a feature that isn't even core to your product.
This quote just nails it. The best design isn't always about the cool stuff you can see. It's about the thousands of problems you never even knew you avoided. So the next time you use an app and it just feels effortless, take a second to remember the invisible assembly lines and all those digital workers chugging away behind the scenes, making everything just work. Thanks for joining me for this one.